the Purdue Boilermakers. And the Ryan Walters era ended rather pitifully. They went 1-11 last year. Trey, there is like zero continuity on this team. They have one singular returning starter from last year. It's running back Devin Mockabee, who I'm a big fan of. I'm rooting for him. He's just a little over 1,100 yards away from becoming Purdue's all-time leading rusher, so there's a storyline to watch. But when you look at what Purdue has in 2025, again, there are storylines and players that I'm absolutely rooting for. And Barry Odom, I think, is a great head coach. This will be his first year coming over from UNLV, but it just feels like this train is going to take a little bit longer to get on the tracks.
It's a true year zero, right? Because Odom not only had to rebuild the team when he initially got there, they lost 28 players to the portal initially. They then lost another 28 in the spring portal window that he had to find a replacement for. So his team is literally, he's going to find out who shows up when they all show up to report to camp in August, because it's a true year zero situation. You mentioned Mockabee. I think that's the player to watch on between both sides of the football. He's a really fun running back that they've got there. They got some interesting names on defense. Powell from Georgia. They got Tony Grimes, who feels like he's been everywhere, but he's going to spend his fat last season at Purdue and maybe try to make a name for himself there. But man, I just look at the schedule, and 1-11 last year, of course, 0-9 in Big Ten play. It feels like going 2-10 would be a huge victory for Barry Odom. Barry Odom is a guy that took over a UNLV program that was awful, left for dead in the Mountain West, and he shockingly made it back-to-back Mountain West Conference championship game. So the hope that you're looking for is in that coaching staff, finding that magic and being able to certainly just get the most out of whatever they do have. But they're another team that's just going to be up against it this year, figuring it out as they go, holding it together with duct tape and baling wire, and hoping that they can figure out a way to get a couple wins and maybe a conference win as well. I'm with you. This would have been my 18 out of 18 below Northwestern.
Yeah, there's just so many new pieces, so much unknown. You mentioned over 50 players transfer out. One of those players that left during the spring window is now starting quarterback Ryan Brown. He was a starter last year, left, committed to North Carolina, and then basically said it didn't feel right, decommitted from Bill Belichick, and comes back to West Lafayette to play quarterback for the Boilermakers and finish out his college career. If that doesn't kind of epitomize the transfer portal in today's day and age, like I truly don't understand how college coaches are managing, especially the spring portal window. Now, we're going to a one-time portal, which will be helpful, and I think will give coaches some quality of life back. They won't have to be re-recruiting their roster all 365 days. But to say that Barry Odom is up against it in West Lafayette this year, I think is an understatement. I like a lot of the pieces at the wide receiver core. They bring Nitro Tuggle, comes back home. He was at Georgia for a season, Indiana native, comes back north. Michael Jackson, who's also similarly been all over the place, leaves Georgia, comes to Purdue. E.J. Horton from FAU. So, they've got some fun skill position players, but then you move down to the schedule, and very similar to Northwestern, they just don't miss many contenders. They're catching USC. They play Notre Dame in the non-conference and a rivalry game. Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio State, Washington, and Indiana. Most of those teams, guys, in consecutive weeks. I mean, momentum is a real thing in college football, and when you're a team that's coming off a 1-11 season, you have your guys are all learning each other's names still a quarter of the way into the season. I tend to think that Purdue fans are probably going to be looking towards Matt Painter in basketball season somewhat quickly, but don't lose hope, Purdue fans. I think Odom is definitely a guy that can bring some of that Boilermaker energy back home, right? Jeff Brom did it with the offense and the unpredictability of, hey, we could score in 30 seconds and ruin your season. Ohio State found that out the hard way, especially a night game in Ross-Ade Stadium. This time around, it's going to be more on the other side. I think Purdue is going to be built with a tough-nosed defense made in mind, and he brings Mike Scherer, his DC from UNLV, over with him. He hires Josh Henson from USC to be the offensive coordinator, who Henson's built his reputation on the offensive line, on tight end. So I think this is going to be a stout team, a physical team in time, but maybe just not in 2025.